Your Excellencies, Your Highnesses, thank you for having me today. I come from an old industry called the blockchain. I think nowadays AI is a new industry, so we're kind of out of date. I want to share a little experience about me first coming to this country in 2021. I landed in the country on September 30th, which is a Friday. Back then, Friday was not a working day. Saturday is also not a working day. His Excellency, Mr. Omar, greeted me on a Friday evening around midnight, and then also met with me on Saturday. Through his help, he gave me a golden visa very quickly. We set up very quickly, and I learned firsthand how innovative and how advanced this country is. So I'm grateful for the opportunity for us to be here. And I think UAE understands some of the regulatory complications or delicacies of regulating new industries. I think to regulate industries is actually quite easy if you just want to avoid problems. So you just stop everything, and then you have no issues. But the problem is then your economy will lag behind. So I think UAE understands this in a deep way. I will touch up a little bit on the crypto regulations, what it involves, and get you guys thinking about it, hopefully in some way. I think the first thing is we need to fight fraud and bad behavior in the industry. This is regardless of regulation, regardless of industries, regardless of frameworks. Bad behavior is bad behavior. So we need very strong support from law enforcement, from the legal side. So that's number one. That's the basis of any regulation, which is to prevent bad players. At the same time, though, we do need to encourage innovation. In new fields, there are many things that are not regulated. So we do need to encourage people to try different methods. And in the crypto regulation, I'll just break it down at a very high level. Usually, it's not that complicated. The first thing is classification. How do we classify crypto? This topic is still not decided in most parts of the world. The problem is there are many different types of cryptocurrencies. There are coins that we think are utility coins. There are cryptocurrencies that are similar to securities. There are cryptocurrencies that should be currencies, and there are commodities, etc. Many people want to classify all of cryptocurrency into one new type, which is difficult because it's like classify internet into radio, magazine, or is it a TV? We have internet radio, internet magazines, and internet TV, and much more. A new technology cannot be classified into an existing category, so we need to expand the classification of it. In this regard, UAE has done really well. Also, after I came here, in late 2021, early 2022, Dubai established VARA, which is a new regulatory entity for blockchain. I think most other countries will not be able to do this. And there are, in fact, actually multiple crypto regulators in this country, including ADGM, a number of others. We actually see some friendly competition between them so that they want to do well. Most of today's regulations focus on exchanges because exchanges are the largest businesses in the industry. But exchanges are relatively simple, and it's only a small part of the industry. With exchanges, we do KYC, AML, etc. There are many complications when it comes to exchange regulations. For example, many countries want to localize everything. They want to have a very restrictive listing frameworks that, okay, this is the 20 tokens you can trade on your exchange. That usually kills the business. Luckily, UAE does not do that. Many exchanges many regulators want a local custody solution, local wallet, without realizing how expensive that is for industry players. To establish a local infrastructure that hosts billions and billions of dollars requires multiple signatures spread all over around the world. Those things take a lot of money and a lot of effort to build. And it's not easy to replicate that 100 times. It's just infeasible. UAE does have very good cloud and security infrastructure, so we're actually looking to do quite a lot of that onshore. But UAE luckily does not require every single player to do everything locally. The other common problem we see is that everybody wants a local order book. They only want people in the country to trade against each other. This really limits the liquidity of the exchanges, and thus your users will be paying a much higher price. So the order book depth will be much lower. And when you place a large order, the slippage will be much higher. So for example, if you want to buy, say, $100,000 worth of Bitcoins, then you'll pay more because the price slippage will be high. So many countries don't understand this. And users on the exchange don't choose who they trade with. They trade against the central order book. So many advanced regulators realize that you need a global central liquidity. So those are just highlighting some of the issues that we face on a day-to-day basis when it comes to regulation. So I typically go to the specific issues and not stay super at the high level. Other things also needs a lot of regulation in terms of stable coins, payments, many other interest-bearing products, and also DeFi. DeFi is another big topic that I won't go into a lot of detail, but DeFi so far is hard to regulate because DeFi very often involves just software. Many of them are open source software. So this is just code that you can download from the internet. And then you can compile the software yourself. You can hold your own wallet, and you can interact with the blockchain. So you can buy meme coins on DeFi or invest in earn programs on, by staking or staking and getting yields. So, so far, not that many regulations have come into this area, but I think it's important that we establish some high-level guidelines while still allow innovation in this new space. So the other topic that was briefly mentioned here was also, in DeFi, we also want to protect privacy. While there is a need to crack down bad players and to share with law enforcement information to help with law enforcement with their jobs, it's also important to protect the privacy of everyone. So for example, if I'm buying a coffee next door using crypto, I don't want the world to know I'm buying coffee next door here. And I don't want the world to be able to trace through all my transactions, even though all of them are 100% legit, but I still want to maintain my privacy. I don't want people to know where exactly I live, where I spend my time, etc. So preserving privacy while also encouraging innovation is an issue that we need to overcome. So these are some of the things that I very often spend time discussing with country leaders, regulators around the world. And I think with having been to at least 24 countries, well, actually more than that, but having deep discussions in more than 24 countries, I think UAE definitely leads. And we want to establish UAE as the leader. Nowadays, especially with the new US administration, they are now very pro-crypto. So the US have very strong advantages. They have the talent pool, they have the startup industries, and they also have the very good funding. So when the US is pro-a industry, they typically sort of suck back the talent. And in the last administration, we've seen a lot of outflow from the United States in terms of talent, capital, and just sort of the blockchain industry. But now there's a little bit of a pullback effect. And I believe for other countries to continue to innovate and to continue to compete, this is a friendly competition to improve innovation. We need to establish even more favorable regulatory framework, and also we need to do we together, both regulators and industry players, need to do this job together better. And I think we are able to. In many countries, things move faster. Smaller countries are typically able to move quicker, and countries with strong leadership, with clear vision, strong execution abilities are able to move much quicker. So I think UAE, in my honest opinion, is a world leader in crypto regulation and on many other fronts, and also on AI. Lastly, let me talk a little bit about AI and blockchain. So as a technologist, we also want to embrace new technologies, and I think AI is a very big technology. Again, UAE has invested very heavily in AI infrastructure, algorithms, large language models, and also just the industry in general. I think AI is a post-blockchain industry, so it's going to be heavily integrated with blockchain. Both in terms of, if you think about when AI develops a bit further, each one of us is going to have probably 100 different AI agents working for us almost simultaneously. Some AI will be helping us to book flights, hotels. Some AI will be living in a physical robot that cleans our house. you need to interact with all of those AIs. And many AIs are interacting for you on behalf of you with other AIs. And there will be many transactions going on. And guess which currency are they going to use? They're not going to use bank credit cards. They're not going to go like sign checks and go open accounts in banks. They're going to use cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is a digital native currency that will be able to transact instantaneously and also fully digitally and autonomously by AIs. So we see that the currency, the financial system is going to be so much bigger than what we have today. Only a single AI agent can transact like probably 100 more, can probably handle 100 more transactions on your behalf. And we're going to have hundreds of different AIs transacting for us. So our life will be much richer. But we also need much better technologies to facilitate that. So AI's currency will be cryptocurrency. So how to regulate both of those industries well is going to be really important. And blockchain is also going to be the fundamental layers for AI. Today, AI is trained on public or semi-public data that's owned by the large internet companies. And there are still debates about who owns that data. Why is some AI company able to train with the data I generated myself while it's on some other platform? Again, blockchain. On top of that, many data today are not captured. So many of our interactions, how I type, how I play with a toy, how I communicate with my family, how I think about decision making, what do I say in every meeting. A lot of that information is not captured at all. My health information, every one of my health tests, my back issues, my MRIs, all of that is not fully digitized. It's digitized in some form, but they're not fully available to train AI. And I want to be able to control my data to the extent that I want to use that to train AI. A different person may have a different perspective or a different choice. So blockchain offers a solution to customize that permission, that collection and permission and monetization of that data. So now imagine using blockchain, you can capture all the data on the blockchain. Every time somebody wants to use it, they have to get your permission. And then every time they make money off it, you should get a share of that monetization. So blockchain allows that to happen. I believe in the future, and also then we will know everyone that's used that data to train the AI models. So if an AI model is not responsible, or is not ethical, then many people will not allow that data to be used. So this is just one of the cases where we can use blockchain technologies in the future of AI industries. So I think we are still at the very beginning of both technology innovations, and I think both fields have huge potential. And again, I want to thank all the leaders and all the regulators in this country, many of them who are in this audience, for establishing such a forward-thinking and innovative landscape for industry players to flourish. So with that, thank you so much. Thank you for your support.